TVA activation, please make sure you saw the Transversus Abdominus video. What is it? Where is it? Why is it important? It's really kind of crucial to know the anatomy of this muscle before reconnecting the brain to it. And for that, please watch that video, but let's get started. I'm gonna ask that you lie down with your knees and feet hip width apart. So if you find the big bumps on the front of your pelvis, place your hands on those bumps. That's a good orientation of what's hip width. But these two bumps, ASIS, front of your pelvis, are also really important for part 2 of the activation. They give you a landmark to be able to use your fingers to find this very deep muscle. So to do that, put your fingers on those bumps and come up and in about 1 inch. So 1 inch up, 1 inch in towards your belly button. And so you're still below your belly button and you're in from those bumps on the soft spot of our lower belly. And this will be where you could actually feel that muscle turn on, contract with your fingers, because some of you are gonna find it difficult to know if you're doing this correctly. Okay, but that's for part 2 of locating the lower part of Transversus Abdominis. We're gonna actually activate this muscle in 3 parts. In the first part, I'd like you to take your fingers again and find way down here your pubic bone. So the pubic bone, the pelvis comes into a central bone, and so down low you should find a nice hard bone, that's your pubic bone. And if you would, imagine a sling going from this bone to your tailbone. And now I'm gonna ask you, so you're becoming aware in your mind's eye of your tailbone, and just so gently pull those 2 bones towards one another. That is the pubococcygeal muscle, and it helps facilitate and invite Transversus Abdominis to come online. So we're going to use that as part 1. The other thing we're going to do to really ensure we're contracting the proper muscle is we're going to activate TVA during an exhalation. And I'm going to just show you real quick. So look at how I'm blowing. It's like I'm blowing through a straw with pursed lips. So in a moment, I'll be lying down. I'll take a slow, full breath in through my nose and then blow out very slowly through pursed lips. And I'm going to ask you to do that as we pull in and contract Transversus Abdominis. So forget part 1 for a moment. Let's just practice part 2. And part 2 is going to be these bumps in and up towards your belly button in the soft spot of your belly. Place your fingers. And now what we're going to do is make sure your neck is long, chin is tucked. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and blow out slowly through those pursed lips I just showed you as you draw your belly button down towards the floor while blowing out slowly. Great, now pause, breathe normally. So that's one way of activating part 2 is have the sense of pulling the belly button down towards your spine. It is not an inhalation or it's not a sucking in. That's why we do it while breathing out during an exhalation. But it is also not just pulling in. It's a sense of pulling in towards midline, tightening. So it's a pulling in and tightening. I like to tell people it's tightening against a poke. I used to say, tighten your core, tighten against a punch. But what people would do is they would over contract, shut off TVA, and go into the rectus abdominis, that big motor superficial abdominal muscle. I call that the Abercrombie and Finch. Transversus abdominis is a lot more subtle than that. So we're gonna call tightening against a little poke. I call this my pasta pouch. So tightening against a poke of the pasta pouch. Of course, being Italian, right? So part 2, we're gonna try again. So go ahead and find your muscle in and up an inch. Take a breath in through your nose. Breathe out slowly through pursed lips as you draw the belly button towards the floor, towards your spine, and tighten against the poke. So pulling down and tightening
And now continue to hold that tightening while you breathe. Go ahead and breathe normally. Make sure you can breathe in and out as you keep this sense of tightening the lower mid portion of transversus abdominis. I'm talking and tightening, so I have to breathe and keep that tight. I can feel that it's tight as I talk to you. You want to practice breathing, and as you take a breath, a big breath in, the diaphragm drops down against the abdomen and makes keeping that tension, that easeful contraction of transversus abdominis difficult. So it's really important though that we're always breathing. So we have to be able to have this sense of stability. TVA is activated, it's tightened, but it's easeful tightening. I can breathe and have the rib cage open wide like wings of a bird as I maintain this tension. So I've kept that transversus on the entire time. I'm going to release it now. And in general, we're going to do this exercise holding that for 10 seconds while you practice a full, easeful breathing breath. And we're going to add softening the neck, making sure the jaw is soft, the chin between my shoulder blades is soft. I could let go of feeling if I need to, allow my hands to really just relax into the ground as I tighten below. So that's all part 2. Now some of you know part 2 really well and struggle with part 3, and other people tend to do part 3 really well and struggle with part 2. But transversus abdominis, it has different nerve innervations, so that's why we have multiple parts. But remember that it attaches on these lower 6 ribs I'm trying to show you. And that's where we're going to come into part 3. As this muscle comes in, it kind of hugs the organs. These ribs kind of come down and in. I like to also think of my back kind of widening. So the rib, the ribs are wide, the diaphragm's opening the rib cage, but there's still a sense of stability. Transversus abdominis is allowing these ribs to stay secure so my arm could move off of it, so my leg can move off of it. So again, go to talk 1, but part 3 is going to be drawing the ribs down and together so slightly. So why don't we try that now? Take a breath in through your nose, breathe out slowly through pursed lips as you draw your ribs towards one another or down towards the floor and in. And then can you hold that and still breathe easily? There still needs to be some freedom of movement because the diaphragm attaches right next to TVA. In fact, they interdigitate into these ribs. So the diaphragm, by you kind of drawing these ribs down and back, you actually allow the diaphragm to do more of its job and to breathe fully and contract down, which is really healthy for the organs. So TVA, organ health, the breath, very interrelated. So let's try one more time. Breathe in through your nose, out through your pursed lips, slow, make a sound, draw those ribs down and back. Now breathe in. Nice full inhalation through your nose while you have that sense of tension. Think tension, don't think contraction, that's too much. This is a stabilizing postural muscle, so it's just a sense of in. Now, as you focused on your upper part, go ahead and drop down, and do you still have that lower belly button to backbone tightness? Can you feel some firmness against the poke? Go ahead and step down to part 1. Do you still have a little sense of drawing the pelvic floor up and in? So now we're going to put it all together finally. I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth, and then we're going to start with pubic bone to tailbone, belly button to backbone, ribs down and in. Okay, you ready? Let's do it. Take a deep breath in. Blow out slowly through pursed lips as you draw your pubic bone and tailbone together, so slightly drawing the belly button down towards the backbone, tightening against the poke, ribs gently down and back. We have 1, 2, 3. We have the full transversus. The muscle fibers recall are over here, kind of zipping us up, pulling us in, securing the rib cage over the pelvis. As I talk, you should be holding that gentle tension while breathing easily. Allow your neck to be soft. Allow your jaw, your cheeks, your shoulders to fall out towards the sides into the earth as you maintain that sense of stability or TVA activation. So you're going to, if you have to, release, and go ahead and release. Let's try it again. I'll walk you through it one more time. Deep breath in through your nose. Blow out slowly through pursed lips as you draw your tailbone and your pubic bone together. Belly button down towards the spine and tighten against the poke. Ribs down and back and tighten. And I would like you to hold that tightness as you breathe in, out, nice and naturally. Find your breath. Double check, retighten an area if you need to. Neck is long and soft. Shoulders are released. Shoulder blades are soft. When I release my shoulder blades, my part 3 wants to give a little. So I just come back to it and retighten it and find my breath. Every time I retighten, I go next to my breath. It's really important to integrate an easeful breath with a activated deep core. That's this exercise. You're gonna spend 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds, tightening the 3 parts, but breathing. Tightening, relax the neck, lengthen, tighten the core, soften the shoulder blades and the chest. The shoulders move away from one another towards opposite sides of the room. I'm always saying that to my shoulders widen, core activates. So it's not weightlifting. This is a postural stabilizer muscle. It's supposed to be on for, it's more endurance. It's on for a long time. So you can hold it longer. Practice your breathing, practice your softening. Women, we need to soften up on top as we engage the core. A lot of us misuse our upper traps as our core, and we do this. So we're releasing and softening up top as the core is engaged. And I know it's a lengthy demonstration, but there's a lot to it, and it's worth mastering this before anything else. So practice and let me know how you do, and good luck.